Welcome to hell. There is no escape. There is no escape. You are in my control now. Welcome to hell.
And they'll take you one by one, and no one will hear you scream. No one will hear you scream.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Walter Doom back for another episode of Let's Talk About Horror, the horror podcast where I just talk about a bunch of bullshit. Alright, I mean, that's not a good way to start the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Your boy Walter Doom is back, and I mean, I've had different plans on what I was going to do with the podcast, but I ran into some news today that was just way too interesting to like not record about or just put my thoughts together about. I mean, I need to talk to somebody about this. I needed to spew this to somebody, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you want to follow your boy on them social medias, you know, it's Walter Doom Horror on IG, YouTube, TikTok, the Walter Doom on X, which pretty soon I'm about to be deleting pretty soon. I said this year is gonna be the year I delete that X account. I don't really use it. I rarely post on it. I mean, most of the time I'm just on there liking booty anyway. But anyway, if you want to listen to the podcast anywhere else, I mean, just type in Walter Doom on any streaming site that deal with podcasts. So I ran into Darren Brand's reel while I was scrolling on Instagram, and I swear I just hate that I scroll on Instagram a lot, but his video was about Best Buy officially terminating DVDs and Blu-ray from their physical sale in-store and online. And it made me wonder because, you know, we see a lot of things on social media that tend to not be true. You know, some of it is just clickbait at the end of the day. And I had to like take research for myself. I go on Google and I type in Best Buy, you know, DVDs, go into the news segment. And the first thing I do see is that Best Buy is letting go and moving on from selling discs in their stores. So this is a shocker for me. If you're somebody that's as old as I am, and you grew up like collecting physical media for like who knows how long. I mean, I'm gonna say this, like my biggest, I guess, memory as being a young adult is going to Best Buy to buy like a album or a movie when it was available. I bought The Dark Knight there. I bought this special edition casing of Saw 4, I believe. No, actually, it was Saw 5. It was Saw 5. So it was Saw 5. Endless amount of CDs. Endless amount of, like, I want to say, electronics, CD players, not podcasts, iPods, whatever, you know, that I got out of there. It was a shock to hear that Best Buy is actually moving on from the physical media game of DVDs. I mean, I'm talking like the store shutting down, but it's not really shutting down. It's just moving on from one product to another. But anyway, for those that are probably like unaware, I'm pretty sure like those of you that listen to me are probably already aware. But for those that are probably unaware about what's going on, I'm going to read you guys the article that I read and kind of give you guys my commentary to understand why Best Buy is doing this. So I went on The Gamer because that was the one article that caught my eye because the title is Best Buy leaving the disc business says more about Best Buy than the state of physical media. So, starting this month, Best Buy is seizing the sales of DVDs and Blu-rays, both online and in store. I visited my local Best Buy this week and saw firsthand the barren shelf, singular. Yeah, I mean, let me take a pause for a moment. Do you guys remember how Best Buy used to have endless shelves? Not really endless, but they had like multiple shelves of movies. I can't remember when I went to Best Buy, but I remember I went to this Best Buy. What my fat ass thinking about? But this Best Buy that's in Santa Monica, and I remember going in there and I remember seeing just one shelf where they had DVDs at. And with the CDs, I believe they had like one area of CDs. And it really threw me into like a real loop for a second because I'm like, what is going on? I remember this place used to be stacked with like DVDs and CDs. I mean, not knowing that like the change of times means like a lot of people aren't buying that stuff anymore. It never dawned to me how much people are not buying, especially since I myself don't really buy DVDs as much as I used to. Not to say I was a really big collector to begin with, but when I was trying to start my DVD collection in, I want to say 2019. I think that's probably the last time I really bought a DVD. And I didn't even buy it from Best Buy. I bought it from Amoeba because Amoeba has like a really good collection of DVDs, used, new, whatever. And yeah, I mean, I was just bargain shopping, really. So it wasn't like I was really buying anything that was super serious or anything like that. It was just a bargain hunt. But the point being is, I haven't really bought a DVD in a while, and it more attributes it to like just me being broke as fuck. Like just like the rest of y'all, I work a crappy ass job too. So for me, I haven't bought like really anything physical in a while. As far as CDs, I mean, I don't even remember the last time I bought a CD, honestly. I think the last time I actually bought a CD was probably when I was still in college. And now the last time I was in college was in 2012. And I can't even remember what the last CD that I bought. But because of like websites that I was finding where I could actually bootleg the album, you know, like thanks to the people that, you know, told me how to do it, you know, I spent more time downloading albums. I was listening to more mixtapes during that time as well. I had a I still do have it, but at the time I had a Spotify account that was just the free version of Spotify. So I was listening to music every so then like on Spotify, but nothing serious until maybe around 2013, where I was just like finally like, you know what, let me check out this premium. Let me see what this premium does and what have you. Actually, I think it was like later than that. I think it was like about 2015 maybe. Yeah, I want to say 2015 was probably the time where I actually did choose to go into Spotify Premium. And yeah, I mean, I stuck around with that shit since. Point being is that when I went into Best Buy, I didn't even think about like the sense of I have not bought physical media myself from Best Buy in a very long time, which I can't even remember the last time I actually bought a movie or a DVD or a CD from Best Buy themselves versus like buying it from anywhere else. But moving on, I visited my local Best Buy this week and saw firsthand the barren shelf, singular, where movies used to be. I bought a Disney Steelbook of Beauty and the Beast for $23 and left the store for what may be the final time. Then I got on Amazon and ordered the new 4K Ultimate Edition of Avatar: The Way of Water and realized Blu-ray ain't going anywhere after all. I'm going to touch on that a little bit later because I have some thoughts on that one. But anyway, a lot of people are treating Best Buy's decision to stop selling movies as a watershed moment for physical media. But speaking as someone who has a close relationship with both Best Buy and Blu-rays, it really isn't. I worked at Best Buy all through high school back in the early 2000s when half the store was made up of rows and rows of DVDs and CDs. See, this is the memory I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure like some of my millennial people, we could relate to this heavily. I mean, I miss those days, honestly, but I mean, that's when physical media was in demand. And I built a pretty impressive collection. Practically, my entire paycheck each month went towards special edition movies, TV box sets, and new albums. And thanks to movie nerds like me, Best Buy thrived. They really did take advantage of us, by the way. And didn't show no fucking appreciation for it. God damn. But anyway, as I continued to work at Best Buy during holiday breaks in college and for years after, as I tried to get my filmmaking career off the ground, I watched physical media slowly disappear from the store. It's certainly true that streaming has had a huge impact on Blu-ray business. Only collectors buy discs now because it's easier and cheaper to stream things. That said, Best Buy hasn't been the market leader in physical media for a long time. Seeing it finally give up on Blu-rays isn't the nail in the coffin for physical media that you might think it is. Oh, so what is the answer? Best Buy wasn't pushed out of the disc business by streaming. It was pushed out by Amazon. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, dramatic effect. But anyway, let me keep reading. Cheap items with low markup like Blu-rays used to be Best Buy's way to get people into the door. That is true. Movie aisles were strategically placed towards the back of the store so that you have to walk past all the new phones, tablets, laptops to find them. While you browse the movies, giant televisions lined the walls in front of you, showcasing the latest and greatest in home theater technology. Best Buy wanted people to come in for The Dark Knight on Blu-ray and leave with a new HD TV, and for many years that worked great. Now, I have to stop for a moment. I have to take a pause. I don't think I've found out who wrote this article. Oh, Eric Switzer. All right, so what dear Eric is trying to tell us is about his experience. He noticed how Best Buy used to strategically place DVDs. And I remember this too. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember this very well. I mean, obviously, like in detail too, because I used to frequent this Best Buy in Santa Monica. I mean, there was a couple of Best Buys in Santa Monica. Well, one was, I wouldn't say, it was in the border of Santa Monica. It was like the border of Culver City and Santa Monica. If y'all know, if you know, you know. I mean, it's the Best Buy literally by fucking, not me snapping, trying to remember, by Sony Studios, I believe. And by the way, I mean, I gotta say this, like, my college dream as a kid was to be a designer over at Sony, but those dreams are long dead. But anyway, oh man, let's not get depressive in a moment. But yeah, I remember passing by Sony Studios, and I mean, I didn't know there was a Best Buy in that area because, I mean, the only Best Buy I knew was the one in Santa Monica because that was the first one I ever went to. But as I was going to college, you know, I was taking the bus a lot. I didn't have my own transportation or anything at the time. I found out while looking over at the signs or whatever, you know, I don't know. I forget how I found this Best Buy. I think one day I was just passing by that area, not me specifically, but probably just like on the bus or what have you, and I saw a sign that says Best Buy, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a Best Buy in this area? How did I not know? And mind you, like, public transportation back in the early 2000s in LA isn't like how it is today. Today, I mean, they are really trying to build up the public transportation in this area, and I feel like this is something that they're trying to do. They're trying to keep up with New York on so many levels, which I feel like, we shouldn't have, like, not been building. I mean, we should have been building, like, public transportation for the people in Los Angeles, but we used to have a lot of transportation back in the day. I don't know the specific date because obviously I wasn't living through that time, and I didn't really research this. Again, like, I'm doing this off the cuff right now, because I saw an article and I was like, damn, I really want to talk about this right now. So yeah, you got LA, and you got, like, people who build trains and shit in the area. We still had those tracks that are being used right now. Those tracks that are being used right now around my area is like tracks that used to be around back in the day. So it's like there are some train tracks in LA that were not being used, that were basically inactive until, like, a couple of motherfuckers was like, hey, it'll be a good idea if we could help. Like, I don't know why I'm trying to make them sound like Tyler, the Creator, but they're just like, hey, it'll be a good idea if we could get some public transportation for everybody. Let's start a train business, have it go all around Los Angeles. That shit'll be tight. We can make a lot of money off of that. Like, I don't know if that's fucking Tyler, the Creator, or fucking, like, Gollum or shit. I don't even know what that voice was, but either way, a lot of motherfuckers just all of a sudden now is like, hey, let's build some trains and let's get these people, like, going. Let's build it all around Los Angeles. A lot of people, yeah, we got people that drive, but we got a lot of people who don't drive, and our buses are crowded. A lot of fucking crazy people are on it, and sometimes there are lines that don't even fucking connect. And I guess we need to start building lines where, like, hey, it could be more convenient, and it'll be more money for our areas. So I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of these motherfuckers now are thinking, like, well, I think after, like, the fucking stadium got built, fucking SoFi and shit, they're like, yeah, nah, let's take advantage of this. Let's get more money going everywhere, but, yes, point to this whole story is that for me during the time, it was real tough to always get to that Santa Monica Best Buy. That was a huge ass tangent, by the way. God damn. But anyway, it was hard to get to that Best Buy all the way in Santa Monica for me. So when I saw that there was a Best Buy in Culver City over by the bus stop that where I take to get to school or to try and get home, I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah, let's go to this Best Buy. Let's see what they got. And when I stepped into that motherfucker, I was amazed on how it was. And of course, what they did was very strategic, like all Best Buys do. Place the DVDs section all the way into the back. I don't know what I thought I was going to say. But they placed the DVD section all the way to the back area, and you had to walk all through the store. You had to get through, like, the fucking cameras. You had to get through all the fucking computers. Now, during the time, there was no tablets or iPhones, or they didn't even sell phones during that time when I was going to Best Buy, when I feel like Best Buy was at its, like, peak. Like, around, I want to say Best Buy was at its peak in the early 2000s to late 2010s to probably, like, around, I want to say 2014. That was probably like peak Best Buy years. So when you go to Best Buy, you're walking through the fucking store. You have to go through, like, all the latest technology, the computer shit, the cameras, the CDs. You have to go through, like, a lot of fucking bullshit. And I'm trying to think, did they even sell home appliance when I was there? Because I know now they sell it heavily at that store, at their stores now, but I want to say they didn't. So majority of the store was literally like CDs, DVDs, cameras, home entertainment, and I believe car entertainment as well. So you had to walk through a lot of fucking shit before you get through the DVD section. So when you're walking through the store, and I believe, yeah, during this time they did sell iPods. So iPods, yeah, if it's like the 10s, iPods was definitely a thing. I think still during this time they didn't sell phones yet. I think phones started becoming like a thing in Best Buy stores like probably like around the mid 2010s, because I remember I seen iPods, but I never seen like iPhones. But yeah, going through like a lot of the store, you just see like a lot of things that they tempt you with trying to buy. Fortunate for me, I was too broke to even fall for any of that shit. I mean, honestly, like, I'm sitting there walking, I'm like, damn, that's a nice ass camera. Too bad I can't afford that shit. Like, if they were trying to entice anybody to walk out with a new TV after buying The Dark Knight Rises or The Dark Knight, I was the wrong motherfucking customer, honestly. It's like, I'm like, you got the wrong one, sir. But anyway, yeah, you literally had to walk through a lot of bullshit. And once when you get to like the DVD section, literally what's across the DVD section is the whole TV section. So while you're trying to pick up like whatever DVD that you're trying to get, you would literally see like all these TVs lined up, you know, the latest 1080p TV or the HD TV or the Blu-ray TVs when they used to sell Blu-ray TVs. Like, I think they do sell Blu-ray TV. No, well, no, it's 4K. So, and I'm pretty sure soon we're about to be moving to 8K, which I think is like a thing. But I don't know. I don't really give a fuck about TVs as long as they show my shit. That's all I care about. I guess I've never been anybody that was like really into like the whole definition. And I've seen movies in like 4K and they look terrible. Some of them look terrible. It looks too realistic. It takes away from the cinematic look and feel from the movies. I don't know. I'm somebody that's like, yeah, I like to have like some high definition television, you know, but it's only good for like watching sports. I feel like I remember I was watching this movie at a friend's house. I can't remember what movie it was. Actually, I don't even think I knew the movie, but the movie looked like a straight up reality TV show. And it took me a while to realize this is not a reality TV show. This is a fucking movie. It's just high definition television. It's showing every fucking thing. Like, you could see the lights just pretty much flushed out. You could see the people's skin tone, the acne on their face, the warts on their nose, like just like all that shit that's going on these actors' faces and all that, man. And that shit just threw me fucking off for a while till I realized, damn, am I drunk as fuck? But literally, it's just like I wasn't drunk or that much drunk. It was just me watching a high definition television and not realizing that we're watching a movie in fucking like 4K or 2K or whatever that shit was back in the day when I saw that shit. Yeah, Best Buy was really strategic about that shit. I never really thought about that shit until I read this article, and I was like, yeah, they really did try to bamboozle a lot of us. And I'm pretty sure those with money, they did fall for that shit, but not me though. Couldn't be me though. But anyway, fewer people are buying physical media now, yes. But more importantly, the people who are buying discs aren't driving all the way to Best Buy to get it, which is true. Like many retailers, Amazon's ability to ship things quickly and for free has made shopping so convenient that there is no reason to go into a store anymore, which is also true. If discs aren't generating foot traffic, then Best Buy doesn't need to sell them. No, Best Buy will continue to sell physical video games and has not made any claims about discontinuing video game sales. in the future. The rumors spreading around social media are incorrectly reported. Right now, DVDs and Blu-rays are going away. All right. I guess in like somewhere along this story, he does talk about like video games, physical media and all that, which I also got thoughts about. But moving forward, I don't think anything about the physical media market has fundamentally changed here. I'll miss Best Buy's exclusive steel books, which were meant to be its last ditch effort to get people back into the store, but you're still going to be able to buy Blu-rays if you want them. Greedy streaming services that delist their own content make a strong case for the continued existence of physical media, and it's an important component of media preservation, no doubt about it. But this Best Buy situation isn't the canary in the coal mine people think it is. As long as the Criterion Collection exists, physical media will survive. As long as vinyl is still a thing, Blu-rays will be a thing too. Discs aren't as ubiquitous as they used to be, but they're not going to disappear completely, nor films, and not for games either. All right, who said film is disappearing? I guess he's talking about like film, like people who take film pictures. You know, I do like the fact that old school or nostalgic vintage things like film and vinyls are still kind of a thing, a niche thing right now in this day and age. I haven't really seen too many people these days with film cameras like I used to a couple of years ago, because I mean, I guess I'm not around a lot of hipsters now, or maybe hipsters don't really fuck with that shit anymore because I think it's like lame or whatever. I do like the fact that there are physical media items that really does feel nostalgic and that still drives sales, like vinyls and film, and I feel like the reason why they are still around is because of the generations before that grew up around those things. I know this person is talking about how DVDs might not die. I could kind of like disagree with them, because at a certain point, there was a time where vinyls, you couldn't find a vinyl in store. There was definitely a time where Target and Best Buy didn't sell vinyls at all. And I feel like they jumped onto the vinyl game because people started bringing vinyls as a resurgence, you know, and it's because of like, once again, a lot of hipsters, collectors, and I hate to say like hipsters, but they were the first motherfuckers to kind of like, and I don't want to say like they were the first, but they were the ones that really said and was like bringing out there like, hey, we're collecting vinyls because of its sound quality. We got a vinyl player and blah blah blah, and some tea and scones and yeah, so like I feel like a lot of them, because they were doing that, a lot of stores like Best Buy, Target, they started jumping on the wagon too. Because I remember before, I want to say 2012, I never saw vinyls in stores. No one really talked about vinyls like that. I started seeing vinyls maybe around, I'm trying to give a good estimate, but probably like maybe 2015, 2016, I started seeing like a lot more vinyls in stores. So I would see vinyls of like classic albums, so like Jay-Z's Blueprint, Outkast Stankonia. I would see it in stores and what have you. There's a bit of nostalgia with that, and there's also a bit of nostalgia about using film as well, because film and vinyl were pretty much like the first physical medias that dominated the US and in the world for a bit, you know. So people who are photographers, who are into photography or filming, they love using film. They have a certain feeling towards using film. I mean, I'm not anybody that's like, oh man, I'd rather see a film. I'd rather just see something that's good. Honestly, give me a good story, give me good characters, and I'm good. But I know there was a time where like people tried to bring cassette tapes into the fold of nostalgia and bring it into like the whole vintage collector's item. And honestly speaking, I mean, yeah, you could do that with cassette tapes, but no one gives a fuck about cassette tapes except for like fucking Gen X and my generation of millennials. Those are the only motherfuckers that really care about cassette tapes. And even like, I feel like for myself, I don't really give a fuck about cassette tapes, honestly. Like, I care more about CDs than cassette tapes. Gen X, I feel like, has more of a connection to cassette tapes. But the thing is about cassette tapes is that using them are a bitch, honestly. Like, can you guys remember what it's like to use cassette tapes? I mean, it's like, especially if you wanted to hear a song play over again. Oh my God, you had to rewind the fucking tape and all that, and you gotta make sure like you rewind to the right spot, because otherwise, if you rewind too far, you're going back into the last song, or you're playing like the middle of the song that you want to hear. And you're just like, damn, I gotta keep rewinding. I gotta fast forward now. It was like so much work, honestly. Same thing with like fucking VHS tapes. But I feel like VHS tapes have a better rep versus cassette tapes. I mean, I have never heard a motherfucker talk about like, yeah, I just got the new Jaden Smith cassette, I got Jaden Smith's album on cassette tape. I'm about to play it in my cassette player right now. Like, nigga, no one has ever said that. I have never heard anyone said that. And maybe I'm bugging. Someone is going to tell me that I'm bugging. But maybe I'm bugging. But I guess I don't hang around motherfuckers who listen to cassette tapes like that. I don't give a fuck about cassette tape. Give me a CD. If there's anything that I want to see make a resurgence into the collector's game, CDs. CDs are the way to go, man. They are as close as it's going to get to vinyl. They are more fun to carry, and they are more compact to carry too. Honestly. Maybe not compact, because cassette tapes are actually small as fuck. But I'm just saying, like, you didn't have to deal with the tape flip and all that rewinding and shit, nigga. If you wanted to listen to your song over again, just press the back button twice. That's all you had to fucking do. Press that back button. Oh yeah, previous 1, 2. There, you are back to the song you wanted to hear. Like, fuck all that rewinding shit, bruh. But see, that's another thing that's about like VHS that was probably also a bitch too. But again, like, I'd rather have a VHS tape to collect. Honestly, VHS tapes are actually really fun to collect. I mean, I don't have a VHS collection anymore. I mean, I don't even know, honestly, what my mom did with those VHS tapes that we used to have, because back in the days, I mean, we used to have a lot of VHS tapes. I mean, and that was the nostalgia. And I feel like that's one thing that's what's happening right now with Best Buy. It's only the start of what's going to happen next. DVDs are being pushed out for the next big physical media that is banking right now. Now, Best Buy, I hate to say this, man, if they don't come up with a new strategic marketing plan, they're about to find their way. Circuit City found its way. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, Google Circuit City, because you might be too young to remember. But for those that lived around or who are as old as I am, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Circuit City was probably Best Buy, Target, biggest competitor. And actually, I want to say also Fry's too. But we ain't gonna talk about fries. I mean, this is more of like a California thing, but we ain't gonna talk about fries right now. We gonna talk about Circuit City and fucking Best Buy and Target. You know, out of those three, I mean, Circuit City tried to make his way, try to push his name out the mud and everything like that. And of course, you know, pretty soon that shit went bankrupt. I don't remember when it went bankrupt, but it went somewhere bankrupt in the 2000s, man. But, you know, it is what it is. So if Best Buy don't really find a way to change up their marketing scheme, they might be finding their way out like Best Buy. I'm not Best Buy. They might be finding their way out like Circuit City found their way out. And in a way, it's almost tragic because the next point I'm about to make is like the generation that's after Gen Z, which is Gen Alpha, and the generation that's coming after Gen Alpha too. A lot of them won't really know what it's like to go into a Best Buy store. Not to say that it's a wonderful thing to have a kid go through, but as a teenager or a young adult, that is kind of like the most fun you have, especially if you're someone that likes to, you know, search through fucking movies and CDs like that. You know, like the old school crate digging. You know, I feel like the more advanced technology is getting, the more we're moving away from things that were so nostalgic, like crate surfing, channel surfing. I mean, I for those that probably had cable back in the day, because a lot of us did before streaming services started becoming a thing. I know probably some people still got cable, but for the most part, a lot of us cut the cord. Yeah, I just want to say, like, there's a lot of things that we're kind of moving away from, and I almost forgot what my fucking point was. But the thing is, like, the next generation won't even know what it's like to experience these things, like collecting a DVD or just like picking up a CD and just like touching the physical media. You know, we're moving more into the digital age. And I mean, not to say that it's a bad thing. I mean, it's just it's the cycle of life, you know? Things get old, you bring in the new, you find new ways to hook people. Now, my thing is like, what are we going to move into next? Because now we're moving away. It seems like there's a war on collectors in a way, I feel like. And it's like the more and more accessible things are becoming, the more I feel like there's going to be a war on collections. You know, and just like straight up devaluing collections. Not even, well, devaluing as in a sense of like, they won't be in stores. They'll be hard to get. They'll be hard to look for. And a lot of companies, like movie companies, are going to start seeing that maybe we shouldn't put so much effort into creating physical media anymore, which is going to trickle down to a loss of jobs. And I know we're all like in a loop and scared of things like fucking AI taking over. And this is like more on like the businesses really abusing the system of like technology and just getting greedy on how they can make more riches. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that I worry about physical media not being a thing anymore. I know in the article, Mr. Eric, he says like it's not going to die anytime soon. Amazon is still selling physical media, but at the same time, we have so many streaming services that take away from a sale of those DVDs. Yeah, it could be a way to preview a movie and maybe, you know, if they're not an exclusive, because, you know, you got like a lot of exclusives, but even exclusives, if we learn anything from fucking Disney right now, or actually, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't even Disney. If we learn anything from Warner Brothers, fucking Warner Brothers, man, exclusives aren't even safe on platforms either. So with companies becoming a little bit more greedy on what they want and how they're giving us certain medias, it's not about the matter of if, it's a matter of when. When are companies going to flip the switch or pull the trigger on saying, you know what, we're not making sales on DVDs anymore, cut it. We're not making sales on these physical video games. And another thing, when was the last time any of y'all bought a physical video game? I can't remember the last time. So to me, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And when this happens, what is going to be in place? Because if anything that we're learning right now for the past couple of years, all this streaming shit, like, and I mean, I'm not saying like streaming is bad. I mean, I got like a fucking bunch of streaming services. I mean, I had to let go some today, but the more streaming is becoming accessible or easily accessible, you know, they're only gonna hold certain movies for a certain amount of time till it disappears. I know Amazon right now, they are the leading company based on this article. They're leading company that is selling DVD, Blu-rays on their platform, which I definitely do remember me buying a Blu-ray or DVD off of their platform. I have a vivid memory of the last time I bought a DVD or Blu-ray on Amazon. But there is going to come to a time where Amazon themselves are going to say, you know, we're not making enough money on these items anymore. So for me, it's like, what do collectors do next? Because if they're gonna stop selling DVDs, that means they're gonna also stop selling DVD players or video consoles that take DVDs. Sure enough, we see something like that's happening right now with the Xbox and PlayStation. Both of them have a console that either takes a DVD or takes a disc. I'm sorry, not a DVD, but takes a disc, or one that just doesn't have a disc player at all. And guess what's the cheaper one? The one without a disc. So in a way, companies are already trying to mold us into trying to get the non-physical media. It's definitely a war out there for us collectors. And yeah, I said us collectors because I'm a fucking collector too. I mean, I may not have a lot of DVDs, but damn it, I got a lot of fucking CDs, bro. I definitely got a lot of CDs that I collected over the years. So damn it, man, I'm in this boat too. God damn it. But anyway, there is definitely a war out there. I mean, yeah, we could complain, we could bitch, we could moan, we could cry, we could uprise or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like these companies are going to do what they always fucking do. And I mean, maybe they're not going to go away completely because obviously we still have vinyls out there. Vinyl players are still making a killing out there in the world. Vinyls are still making a killing, but here's the thing. If you talk to like your parent, if you're as old as I am, you know, you might have a parent that's either that might be a baby boomer, possibly could be a Gen Xer, but I mean that you would have to be a very young millennial if your parent is a Gen Xer. But anyway, and actually, they would have to be an early Gen X. But point is, if you talk to somebody older that's like your parent, grandparent, if they're still around, and you talk to them about, or even just like if you have an older sibling that's a Gen Xer, because I got a couple of older siblings, actually a few older siblings that are Gen Xers. If you talk to them about like, you know, vinyls and what have you, and just the cost of vinyls, they'll tell you that vinyls back in the day didn't cost as much as what they're selling in the record stores. And you know, it's all coming down to that one simple thing on why these things are costing that much. Supply and fucking demand. So the way I see it as for like DVDs, yeah, they're gonna still have DVDs. They might have a collector DVD Blu-ray option for collectors, but how much are they going to try and cipher from us when they're trying to make these sales of these things? I don't know, man. I don't know. But that was the article. That was my thoughts. I'm probably not gonna do a slasher corner because again, this was a very unplanned episode. I'm trying to think, what did I watch recently, if anything? Oh, I did watch The Brain for the first time, so definitely, if you guys got Shudder, definitely check that movie out. I believe also The Brain is on Tubi. It might be on Tubi. I'm not too sure. I'm just assuming. Because again, Tubi usually has a lot of these kinds of movies on there. But for today's Slasher Corner movie of the week, I would like to say go ahead and watch the movie The Brain. It's actually a lot like fucking They Live, but a little more interesting. And a little bit more boobs. But anyway, I'm gonna sign out for today, y'all. If you want to follow your boy on them social medias are the Walter Doom. No, I'm sorry. The fuck am I talking about? It's Walter Doom Horror on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. The Walter Doom on X. And Walter Doom anywhere else that's involving streaming podcasts. And this has been another episode of Let's Talk About Horror. This is America. Don't let them catch you slipping now. Oh, and by the way, y'all, Happy New Year. Sorry for not being here for a while. Your boy is actually planning some things for the channel. There are gonna be some changes coming soon. No, those plans are still on a little bit of the hush hush because I'd rather have this stuff ready for you guys, planned out and what have you. But when it comes, it will come. Pause. But this has been another episode of Let's Talk About Horror. This is your boy Walter Doom signing out. This is America. Don't let him catch you slipping now. Stay diabolical, people. Peace.